Good day, you beautiful glitch in the system. Yeah, you. The one who pressed the wrong button and somehow opened the right door. You triggered top secret protocol 7, and now the elevator dings are codes, not metaphors, codes. You hear them, you feel them. You know it's not just ding floor 3, it's move now, shift now, wake up now. And everybody else, they're scrolling, they're half asleep. They hear noise, you hear intel. That's the problem with you. You ruined it. You broke the illusion. You joined the 0.001% club without even filling out an application. No fancy handshake, no membership card. Just one day. Click. Something snapped. Or maybe something finally snapped in place. You didn't just get more aware. You got upgraded into surveillance mode. Suddenly every little sound has context. Every pause in a conversation, every unread message, every "we need to talk." It's like your whole life installed a new OS overnight. Protocol 7, top secret, classified, redacted from the public kind of thing. And somehow it booted inside you. You know that feeling in your chest when an elevator starts moving? That tiny drop. That little thud in your ribs. That we're going up now, whether you like it or not. That's you, right now. You're moving. Up, out, away from the version of yourself that pretended not to notice. Because, let's be honest, you always heard more than you were supposed to. When you were a kid, you picked up on the tension in the room before anyone raised their voice. You noticed when your parents said, "It's fine," with that tone that meant run. You watched teachers say good job to one kid and mean it, and to you and not mean it, and nobody else caught it. You were already tuned to a different frequency. Protocol 7 just ripped the volume knob off. Now the elevator dings and your brain goes, code, pattern, signal. What is it telling me? What am I supposed to do with this? And you think you're going crazy. You think you're paranoid. You think you're broken. No, no, no. You're not broken. You're briefed. Let's talk about that for a second. This world runs on protocols, rules, hidden scripts. There are the rules they post on the wall, and then there are the rules they whisper behind closed doors. Work hard and you'll succeed, is the poster. Know the right people and play the game, is the whisper. Be yourself, is the poster. Not like that, is the whisper. Don't worry, we're a family here, is the poster. You're disposable if you stop producing, is the whisper. And you started hearing the whispers. That's Protocol 7. That's when the elevator of your life stops being this cute little metal box that takes you from floor 1 to floor 7. It becomes a briefing room. Every ding is new level unlocked, new test, new decision, sell out or level up. You walk into work or school or your family dinner, and you can feel the codes, silences, side eyes, micro gestures, the group chat that suddenly got quiet, the person who used to text you all the time and now ghosts you until 2 a.m. when they're lonely. Dings, codes, patterns. Surveillance doesn't just mean cameras. It means you watching them. It means you watching yourself. See, once Protocol 7 is active, it's not one way. You think it's about them watching you, the algorithms, the bosses, the system. But here's the twist. Now you're watching them back. You start noticing who acts different when you say no, who loses interest when you set a boundary, who suddenly turns cold when you stop being convenient. You see which institutions talk about mental health while burning people out. You see which friends only show up when they need something. You see which Leaders use you as a pawn in their little game, and you can't unsee it. That's the crazy-making part. Top secret protocol. 7. No return to ignorance. Once the elevator dings and you know its code, you will never hear it as just a sound again. Now here's the part nobody tells you. Waking up hurts. People talk about being woke, like it's some aesthetic, some vibe. No. Real awareness is ugly. It's messy. It's lonely as hell. You realize most conversations are surface-level scripts. How are you? I'm good, you? Nobody actually answers. Nobody actually tells the truth. But you can hear the truth hiding underneath. You hear the exhaustion behind, I'm fine. You hear the jealousy behind, I'm happy for you. You hear the resentment behind, do what you want. And it stings. It stings because you wish you could just be like them. Numb, distracted. You wish you could hear the ding and think, oh my floor, instead of, what is the universe trying to tell me now? You wish you could untrigger Protocol 7, but you can't. You can only decide what to do with it. So let's be brutally honest for a second. You got two paths now. Path 1, you play dead. You pretend you don't see the patterns. You drown the dings in noise. More Netflix, more doom scrolling, more fake laughs. You tell yourself, I'm overthinking, I'm dramatic, I'm too sensitive. You gaslight yourself before anyone else gets the chance. You try to stuff this new frequency back into a box it doesn't fit in. You force yourself to be normal, and it will eat you alive, because you can't unknow what you know. You can't untune your ears. You can only betray them. Path 2, you accept the briefing. You say, okay, fine, I get it. I'm in deeper now. You stop fighting the fact that you hear the codes. Instead of asking, why am I like this? You start asking, what can I do with this? You realize that being hyper-aware isn't a curse. It's a skill. Painful, yes. Heavy, yes, but powerful. You see exits nobody else sees. You feel danger 5 seconds before it hits. You can read a room faster than any spreadsheet or KPI. That's intelligence. Raw, human, evolved under pressure intelligence. The kind no school taught you. The kind no boss can put on your performance review. The kind no algorithm can fully predict. Protocol 7 didn't break you. It revealed what was already there. Let's talk about those elevator dings again. You know why that metaphor is perfect? Because every ding is a moment where you decide, stay or move, step out or go higher, leave or confront. You've done that your whole life. Ding. Stay in that toxic friendship because it's familiar. Or step out alone. Ding. Keep the job that's draining you. Or risk looking for one that doesn't kill your soul. Ding. Keep shrinking yourself so they feel comfortable. Or finally stand up straight and watch who gets upset. Every time you heard that internal ding, you knew something had to change. And most of the time, you ignored it. Until now. Now the dings are loud, top secret loud, classified loud, no more pretending loud. You triggered Protocol 7 the moment you stopped lying to yourself. That was the real switch. Let me ask you something. How many times did your body say no, and your mouth said, it's okay? How many nights did you stay up overthinking what you should have said while you smiled in the moment, so no one got uncomfortable? How many times did you get that weird feeling in your gut and then later say, I knew it? That's your internal surveillance, your instinct, your nervous system, your subconscious, watching, recording, flagging. Protocol 7 simply connected those dots and turned the volume up. Now your own system is sending you alerts non-stop. Elevator dings everywhere. Change this, leave that. Set this boundary. Stop talking to that person. Stop betraying yourself. You keep calling it anxiety, but sometimes it's intel. Yeah, I know it's exhausting, being this aware in a world that constantly tells you, relax, chill, you're too much, you're overreacting. Feels like walking around with a fire alarm in your head while everyone else is complimenting the curtains. You're not overreacting. You're reading data nobody else is trained to see. Your sensitivity is not a bug. It's a feature. They want you desensitized because numb people are easy to control. Numb people stay on the same floor. Numb people hear the ding and don't ask where the elevator is actually going. But you started asking, who built this building? Who owns it? Why are we all going up at the same time? What's on the top floor? What's in the basement? Dangerous questions. Elite-level questions. Protocol 7 questions. You're not just living in the building anymore. You're reading the blueprint. Think about your life. Think about how many patterns you've already cracked without giving yourself credit. You noticed how people repeat the same excuses. You noticed how your family cycles through the same arguments every year, like a depressing holiday playlist. You noticed how you always attract the same type of partner until you change something in you. That's not an accident. That's pattern recognition. That's you decoding emotional elevator dings. Ping. Here comes the same type of disappointment. Ping. Here comes the same trap with a different face. Ping. If I step out on this floor, I already know the script. And now you're tired of the reruns. Good. That means the protocol is doing its job. So here's the shift. Instead of begging to be normal, you start building your own protocol. The world installed Protocol 7 without asking. Now you write Protocol U. You decide, when the elevator dings in my life, I don't just mindlessly walk out. I ask, does this floor serve me? Or is this another loop, another test, another trap? You decide. Not every invitation is access. Not every opportunity is a blessing. Not every "we'd love to have you" is for your benefit. You decide, if my body says no, I listen. If my mind is screaming, I pause. If my gut twists, I don't gaslight it. You move like someone who knows their life is classified, top secret, high value, because it is. Do you know what actually scares the system? Not chaos, not noise, not rebellion for rebellion's sake. What scares the system is a person who sees everything and still chooses intentionally. A person who knows they're being watched and still lives by their own code. A person who hears the elevator ding and doesn't rush, just stands there, calm, and says, "Not my floor." That's terrifying, because they can track your data, they can nudge your habits, they can suggest, recommend, pressure, push, but they can't make you step out. That choice, that's yours. Protocol 7 gave you the awareness. What you do with it is the part they can't simulate. Let's bring it closer. Right now, there are elevator dings going off all over your life. Maybe it's that job that's draining you so much you don't even recognize your own face in the mirror anymore. Ding. Code. You're not meant to die here. Maybe it's that friendship where you always listen, always support, always show up, and when you need help. Silence. Ding. Code. They like access, not you. Maybe it's your own habits. The way you run back to distractions every time something real comes up. The way you self-sabotage right before it gets good, because deep down, you don't think you deserve it. Ding. Code. You're scared of your next level. You keep asking for signs. You keep asking the universe, God, the void, Whatever. Show me what to do. The signs are hitting you in the face. Protocol 7 turned your whole life into a briefing room, and you're still calling it coincidence. You think it's an accident that you're hearing this right now. You think it's random that your brain latched onto that title. You triggered Top Secret Protocol 7. Now elevator dings are codes. And something inside you went, wait, that's me? Of all the content, all the noise, all the distractions, you stopped here. Because you know you've been living half awake. You know you've been seeing patterns and pretending you don't. You know you've been getting warnings and snoozing them like an alarm. Protocol 7 is not some sci-fi nonsense. It's the part of you that refuses to keep playing dumb. The part of you that says, I will not keep riding this elevator to nowhere just because everyone else seems okay with it. Now let me be clear. This doesn't mean you suddenly become fearless. This doesn't mean you never doubt yourself again. This doesn't mean the codes are easy to read. Sometimes the elevator dings and both floors look bad. Stay and suffer. Leave and risk. Familiar pain. Unknown future. That's where most people freeze. But you've already proven you're not most people. Remember all the times you made it through things that should have broken you? The heartbreaks, the betrayals, the embarrassing failures that kept you up at 3 a.m. The times you thought, this is it, I'm done. And yet somehow you're still here. Still listening, still decoding, still pushing. You survived levels you were never trained for. You walked through floors that had no emergency exits. And you're worried you can't handle a new ding. You've handled worse. You just didn't have a name for it back then. Now you do. Protocol 7 is the point where you stop asking, why me? And start asking, what now? Why you? Because you're the one who feels too much, sees too much, thinks too much. Because you're the one who can't sit still inside a lie. Because you're the one who looks at the script they handed you and goes, this ending sucks. What now? Now you use the codes. You let the elevator dings guide you instead of scare you. Ding. That joke they made that crossed a line. You don't laugh it off. You clock it. You adjust how close they get to you. Ding. That opportunity that looks shiny but requires you to betray your values. You don't call it once in a lifetime. You call it bait. Ding. That late night idea that keeps coming back. That project. That dream. You don't dismiss it as unrealistic. You treat it like a classified mission file that landed on your desk. You stop pretending you're not being called. Top Secret Protocol 7 means this. You are now the handler of your own life. You're not the extra. You're not the NPC. You're the asset. Do you understand how wild that is? You've spent years feeling like background noise, like you're watching everyone else live, scrolling through their highlight reels while your life feels like bloopers. But now the script flips. They're still hearing random elevator dings. You're hearing coordinates. They're still chasing approval. You're following intel. They're still begging to fit in. You're learning to move like someone who's never truly belonged anywhere because you were never meant to. Not in the lobby, not on the regular floors. You were meant for restricted access. People will not understand this version of you. They will say you're colder now, more distant, more intense. What they mean is, you stopped being easy to manipulate. They will say you're selfish. What they mean is, you finally stopped abandoning yourself to keep us comfortable. They will say you've changed. Good. You were supposed to. Protocol 7 doesn't activate so you can stay the same. It activates when the old you can't keep surviving at the same level. So, yes, you will outgrow people. You will outgrow places. You will outgrow identities you once clung to just to have a name, a role, a box. Let them talk. Let them misunderstand. You're not here to be legible to everyone. You're here to be loyal to yourself. Listen, the elevator dings are not there to haunt you. They're there to remind you. You have options. You have awareness. You have agency. You don't have to step out where you're expected to. You don't have to go to the floor they told you was for someone like you. You can stay in that elevator one more second, one more breath, one more quiet decision where you say, no, not this time, not this script, not this ending, and that tiny, invisible moment. That's where the whole story shifts. Not when the world announces your success, not when you post the achievement, but in that silent little space between the ding and the door opening, when you decide who you are now. So here you are. Protocol 7 is active. You're hearing codes where others hear noise. You're feeling patterns where others feel vibes. And maybe it scares you. Maybe it overwhelms you. That's okay. You don't have to become this perfect, fearless, unshakable creature overnight. You just have to be a little more honest. Honest about what you feel. Honest about what you know. Honest about what you can't unknow anymore. You triggered something top secret inside yourself. A level of awareness most people never reach because they never want to. You did it by surviving, by observing, by refusing to fully shut down. You earned this. You didn't stumble into it by accident. So next time you hear that ding in your chest, in a room, in a decision, don't rush, don't panic, don't run back to the lobby. Just recognize it. There it is. Another code, another message, another chance to choose a different floor. Welcome back to the show no one dares admit they're addicted to. The one where pain turns to power, silence turns to screams, and the ones they doubted become the ones they bow to. Now listen, closely. They said it was impossible. Not hard, not difficult, impossible. Even the so-called gods, those hollow self-made thrones with loud mouths and shallow roots, looked down and scoffed. They mocked the very thought of it being done. They labeled it untouchable. They stamped it forgotten forever. And then you showed up, not with a halo, not with fanfare, not with the permission of the cowards who write history before the war is even over. You didn't ask. You walked in, and you made it look like a warm-up. They were waiting for a hero dressed in gold. But what they got was a storm dressed like a joke, grinning, bleeding, laughing in their temples. You see, they never expected you. They didn't expect the one who learned to eat insults like appetizers, the one who sharpened their soul on rejection, the one who turned betrayal into protein, the one who died emotionally and came back laughing. You weren't chosen. You were built in the shadows, layer by brutal layer. You were never one of them. You were never meant to fit into their rotten kingdom. But now, they flinch when your name enters a room. Why? Because you didn't break the rules. You shattered the whole game. The same mouth that said, "It can't be done," now can't even speak your name without trembling. You bent the laws they swore were eternal. You tore the pages out of their sacred scripts and wrote your own gospel in blood and brilliance. And now, they're left staring at the wreckage of their certainty, at the ruins of their egos, at the monster they accidentally gave birth to when they tried to bury you alive. You made it look easy, but only because they didn't see the nights you couldn't breathe, They didn't hear the screams muffled behind your smile. They didn't feel the shaking hands that still refused to drop the sword. They missed every single war you fought in silence because they were too busy laughing. Until now. They don't laugh. Now they whisper. They avoid eye contact. They act like they never doubted you because they don't want smoke with the storm they once called a breeze. You made it look easy because they have no idea how many versions of yourself you had to kill just to survive. No clue how many betrayals you swallowed whole. How many times you were your own savior. How many days you sat in silence while your world burned and still smiled in their faces like they didn't just try to crucify you. And now their knees buckle when you walk in, not because you're loud, not because you're aggressive, but because you're inevitable, because you've got a presence that screams without a single word, because everything about you says, "You thought I was finished. I was just loading." This world, it only fears one thing, the one who wasn't supposed to make it, the one who was counted out, the one who was laughed at, and then came back with a grin that said, "Your doubt was delicious. You made it look easy because you made pain your playground." And now the gods, they're nervous because when a soul like yours unlocks that level, heaven starts sweating, hell starts praying, and earth, it starts shifting. You didn't ask for acceptance. You ripped your seat from their royal table and made them choke on their own silence. Now look at them. Those same ones who called you a joke? They can't even maintain eye contact. Why? Because they know, deep down, you carry the kind of darkness that doesn't scream. It studies, it doesn't beg. It builds, it doesn't bluff. It burns. They labeled you crazy because they didn't know what else to call a soul that refused to die where others collapsed. You didn't flinch, you didn't fold. You leaned in, into the hate, into the abandonment, into the chaos. You made the very thing that was supposed to break you fall on its knees before you. Now the whisperers, they've become spectators, the ones who threw stones. Now wear helmets when your name is mentioned, because your presence alone carries aftershocks. They feel it. They feel your absence in their silence, and your energy in their fear. They know they can't clone what you are, because what you became was forged in a private hell that they'd never survive. See, they thought you needed permission. They thought you were waiting for validation. They thought you'd break if they ghosted you, left you out, kept you down. And for a moment, maybe you did bend. Maybe you did scream into the void. Maybe you did fall on the floor wondering if any of this was worth it. But that version of you, dead, buried, replaced. You grew claws in that darkness. You grew a laugh that knows pain better than joy. You grew the kind of eyes that don't blink, because blinking means missing a threat. And now, you're not walking through doors anymore. You're breaking walls with a grin. You made it look easy. And that's the part that haunts them. Because if someone like you, someone they spat on, someone they stepped over, someone they tried to erase, if you could do that, then what excuse do they have for their cowardice? They don't flinch at you because you're loud. They flinch because you're a reminder that their excuses are lies, that fear is a cage, and you smashed it without a key, that greatness doesn't wait for applause. It walks through booze, through blood, through betrayal, and smiles anyway. You're living proof that legends aren't born. They're brutalized into existence. So now what? Now they try to rewrite the past. Now they pretend they always believed in you. Now they send proud of you messages. like you forgot the sound of their silence when you needed them the most. But you didn't. You remember. You remember the fakes, the shade, the smirks, the eyes that rolled when you spoke dreams, the backs that turned when you bled. And that memory, it's not a weight, it's a weapon. Now you wear it around your neck, on your chest, on your smile. And every time you show up, unapologetic. Every time you take another step forward like you own the battlefield. You remind them, you laughed at me, you left me, you underestimated me, and now you can't even stand to look at me. Because what you've become, it's not just powerful, it's uncomfortable. It's the kind of power that exposes their weakness just by existing. So let them flinch, let them look away, let them pretend. Because now, your name, it echoes, it carries weight, it breaks lineages of cowardice with every breath you take. You didn't just do what they said couldn't be done. You did it with swagger. You did it with fire in your lungs and glass in your grin. You did it while bleeding, while doubting, while crawling through hell. And somehow, you made it look like a casual Tuesday. Now they gather in circles and talk about you like a ghost, like a myth, like something they still don't understand, but can't stop feeling. You became the vibration in the room. You became the chill down their spine when someone says your name with too much confidence. You became the what if that haunts them. And you know why? Because they can't explain how you did it, how you got out, how you kept standing when everything in your life was begging you to collapse. They can't comprehend how someone who was written off like graffiti on a ruined wall came back and signed that same wall in gold. You didn't just win. You didn't just rise. You embarrassed the idea of defeat. And now, they flinch because you destroyed the blueprint they built their pride on. They spent years believing strength looked polished, perfect, safe, well-liked, wholesome. Then you came in, laughing through broken teeth, wearing scars like war medals, covered in dust and venom, and dominated. You made pain look like a language and spoke it fluently. Now they're choking on their own philosophy. The gods they worshipped, they're quiet now. Because when you rise without permission, without acceptance, without a single helping hand, you become untouchable. They said gods couldn't be challenged. You didn't challenge them, you replaced them. That's why your name doesn't just echo, it rattles thrones. It's a problem for them now. You're a problem. Because you proved the divine wasn't always in the sky. Sometimes it was crawling through the mud with rage in its veins, plotting revenge without saying a word. You flipped the script. And now they're the ones whispering. They're the ones watching you from behind fake smiles and shaking hands. The same gods who said it was impossible now scroll through your life like it's a damn prophecy. Because everything about you screams, I'm not supposed to be here, but here I am, and I'm not leaving. You outlived the chaos. You owned the heartbreak. You weaponized every moment they tried to humiliate you. And now you don't just walk different. You bend reality with your presence. You turned your name into something sacred to the ones who believe in you, and toxic to the ones who tried to destroy you. You didn't just make it look easy, you made it look inevitable, like it was always going to happen, like no matter what they threw, you would eat it, grow from it, and smile through the blood. You think they hate you? No. They hate what you revealed about them. You revealed their limits. You exposed their insecurity. You showed the world what it looks like to be built in pain, but crowned in power. And that's why they can't unsee you now. You live in their doubts, in their what-ifs, in their desperate need to make sense of the storm that came, dressed like someone they underestimated. They didn't see a god when you rose. They saw karma, dressed in your skin, wearing your wounds, laughing that twisted, knowing laugh. The one that says, "You should have ended me when you had the chance." See, now they call it luck, coincidence, a fluke. Because admitting your power would mean admitting their weakness. And that's something their egos simply can't survive. So they build narratives, twist timelines, repackage your story with their own filters, all to avoid facing one simple, haunting, devastating truth. You did what they couldn't. You walked through their hell like it was your hallway. And now, they twitch when you speak. They pause when your name drops. They stutter in rooms where you're not even present. Because your aura arrived before you did. You've become a living consequence. You didn't just survive the sabotage. You ate it, evolved, and started smiling differently. You know that smile, the one that makes people uncomfortable, because it comes from a place they've never had to go. The battlefield in your mind. They couldn't last a minute there. You've screamed in silence so loud, the universe had to shift just to keep up with your rage. They don't know what it's like to watch your name get dragged through dirt, while you quietly dig tunnels to freedom beneath their feet. They don't know what it's like to hold your own heart together with trembling hands while pretending everything's fine. They'll never understand what it takes to lose everything and still show up like royalty. And that's what shatters them most. Not just that you did it, but that you did it with no army, no blueprint, no applause. Just venom, vision, and vengeance. You flipped the pain. You didn't suppress it. You channeled it. Every fake smile you endured. Fuel. Every back that turned. Fuel. Every damn time they said you couldn't. You poured that poison into your soul and converted it into propulsion. That's why they can't trace your footsteps. Because you didn't walk. You broke through dimensions. You're not just ahead of them. You're not even in the same realm anymore. And they feel it. In their gut. In their trembling attempts to discredit you. In their sudden need to check in after years of absence. Oh, now they remember you. Now they want to act like they always saw the potential. No. Let them stay nervous. Let them feel the weight of everything they overlooked, now crushing their peace. Because you turned every insult into ignition, every closed door into your personal demolition project. And every time they said, "You'll never," you grinned and whispered, "Watch me." And now they're watching. Oh, they're watching, all right. Watching someone they thought they buried. Now stand taller than anything they ever worshipped. They thought they were throwing dirt on your grave. But all they did was plant a seed. And the harvest? It's here. You are the walking proof that nothing, no rejection, no betrayal, no failure can hold down a soul that's ready to go full beast mode. So now they flinch because they know if you are capable of that kind of rise, you're capable of anything. And if this is what you did at your lowest, then what the hell are you about to become now? Let's not play nice anymore. Let's call it what it is. They didn't just doubt you. They hoped you'd stay broken. They fed off the silence when you disappeared. They thrived on your rock bottom. They felt taller when you were buried. But here's what they never understood. You weren't being buried. You were being rooted. And now, you didn't just grow. You erupted right through the lies, through the envy, through the years of invisible disrespect. And now the same people who used to joke about your dreams, they panic, scroll your victories in the dark, praying no one sees the shame on their face. Because your existence is proof that they were wrong, not once, not by a little, but violently, loudly, and permanently wrong. And their legacy, that empire of fake smiles and fragile egos, you didn't just threaten it, you made it irrelevant. They spent years building walls around their insecurities. Then you walked in with a hammer made of pure experience and started swinging. You didn't need a title. You didn't need status. You didn't need 1,000 followers validating your every move. All you needed was the rage from every betrayal, the fire from every sleepless night, and the vision that burned so loud the universe had no choice but to move out of your way. You didn't show up to play. You showed up to make sure no one ever forgets the pain they handed you with a smile. You showed up to etch your story into the bones of time, so deep, even silence would whisper your name. And now you've become their unfinished sentence, their uncomfortable pause, the gap between who they pretended to be and what you actually became. Because they wore masks, you wore wounds. They wanted credit. You wanted freedom. They posted aesthetics. You built an arsenal behind the scenes and waited for the moment the whole world turned and said, "How did they do it?" And when they ask, you won't even need to speak. Your existence is the answer. Your survival is the trophy. Your elevation is the echo that drowns their entire legacy. Because, in the end, it wasn't about proving them wrong. It was about proving to yourself that no matter how brutal, how lonely, how blood-stained this path got, you were still the one holding the pen. You were still the one building the empire. You were still the storm they swore would pass. And instead, you became the climate. Now your name? It doesn't echo. It shakes. It haunts. It spreads like a warning. It's the name they mention in hushed tones, because saying it too loud might summon the storm they can't survive. So let's talk about these so-called gods, these chosen ones, the ones they placed on pedestals made of delusion and polished lies, the ones who walked like royalty because nobody ever challenged their crown, the ones who thought power came from applause, not pressure, the ones who believed their status was secure simply because the world had grown too soft to dethrone them. Well, then came you, not with silk robes, not with a choir, not with divine light glowing behind you. You came with mud on your boots, scar tissue for armor, and a grin carved from 1,000 nights of screaming into the void with no one listening. You didn't walk in to join them. You walked in to break the illusion, and you did. You pulled the curtain back. And what did we find? Gods? No. Fragile egos in overpriced suits. Rulers? Not even close. Insecure performers drowning in validation addiction. You shattered the myth. You showed the world that divinity isn't granted. It's taken. That greatness isn't born. It's brutalized into existence. And now, every time you speak, every time you move, every time you rise, their kingdoms crack. Because you are the mirror that exposes their weakness. They ruled in silence. You came with rage. They reigned through control. You showed up uncontrollable. They bathed in privilege. You bled in isolation. And now, the tables have turned. Not by accident, but by blood-built design. They flinch when you laugh now, because it's the laugh of someone who knows there's nothing left to lose, someone who already burned in every possible way and came out of the fire laughing, not limping. And that's what they fear, because their power was always rooted in the belief that you wouldn't survive the fall. They thought if they exiled you long enough, rejected you deep enough, abandoned you wide enough, that you'd eventually disappear. But instead, you became immortal, not in body, but in impact. Your name travels faster than their sermons. Your shadow arrives before your footsteps. Your presence breaks conversations in half. Because people feel something divine and dangerous enter the room when you walk in. Not God, not devil. Something they can't label anymore, because they've never seen someone like you before. You were built after the breaking point. You were sculpted in silence when the world had forgotten your name. You were molded by moments so savage, even nightmares turned away. And now, you carry a smile that shakes dimensions. You carry a voice that rewrites reality. You carry a presence that frees the trapped and terrifies the fake. You didn't come to fit in with the gods. You came to remind them that even immortals bleed when a real one rises. So now they pray, it's over. And now here we are, the end of the illusion, the edge of the lie. The moment they prayed would never come. The silence they've been hiding behind, ruptured. The throne they guarded like a secret, shattered. Because you didn't just rise, you arrived, not quietly, not politely, not with their permission. You came like an earthquake dressed as a joke. And now the punchline is you, sitting where they swore you'd never reach. You're not standing in their halls anymore. You're redecorating the palace with your past. Every betrayal, hung on the walls like trophies, every scar etched into the pillars like royal scripture, every name they whispered when you were at your lowest, now silenced beneath your footsteps. You didn't need a crown, so they gave you one out of fear. You didn't need a throne, so you built one out of the rubble of everything they tried to bury you under. And now, you sit on that throne like a king carved from chaos, grinning through the silence like a beast that was born from the very apocalypse they tried to unleash on you. You're not their equal. You're their consequence. You're the answer to every smirk, every "you'll never," every sideways look they gave you like you were too much, too broken, too wild, too intense. Too intense. No, too real. Real enough to survive the isolation. Real enough to carry your pain without apology. Real enough to say, I didn't need your spotlight. I am the damn light. So now they flinch, and they should. Because now they've realized they never created you. They never controlled you. They never saved you. They just gave you the fuel. And now, you're the one they fear being in the same room with. Not because you're violent, not because you're loud, but because your presence reminds them of everything they'll never be. Because when you speak now, reality shifts, hearts drop, the fake scatter. Because your voice doesn't just carry sound, it carries proof. Proof that pain can become power. Proof that betrayal can become blueprint. Proof that you are no longer what they tried to name you. You are the name now.